To be poor is hard, but to be a poor race in a land enriched with resources is the very bottom of hardship, and life becomes a thorny path to those whom poverty oppresses. The Amansule River in the Western region. Wondering why I'm wading through this river? Where I'm going to? Or perhaps what is even beyond this point? This district is among 21 other districts here in the Western region. And beyond this point is Miegyina, a community, small community which is estranged from other major townships. Let's get to find out some shocking revelations and intriguing revelations and the way of life, what sits with them in terms of resources, and how life actually is beyond this point. The sweeping vegetation that stretches across the Amansule River to the far side of Insulezu is a vast and rich land with a small number of people living on it. Miegyina is a small community in the Jomro constituency of the Western region. Life here can best be described as primitive. We spent half an hour fording to the bank of the river. At the river bank, we were informed by the young man who brought us with a canoe that we had to walk about 30 kilometers through the forest before getting to the community. We began to walk while carrying our luggage. It got stressful as we covered more ground. We eventually arrived in the community. To my utmost surprise, it looked bleak and desolate. There wasn't much happening, and the settlement layout was cluttered and built with mud, while a few were partially plastered with cement. When the locals noticed our presence, they curiously stared. It was heartbreaking to see the elderly walking unsteadily towards us and stopping in mid-strides, while the kids also faltered due to sickness which could clearly be seen on their faces. This prompted me to walk through the community to understand what significantly defined life in Miegyina. It was extremely easy to walk the length and breadth of the community without missing our way due to its small size. We discovered that potable water, electricity, healthcare facility, and schools were all non-existent. Shocking, the only structure in the community that was used as a school was in a deplorable state. You could clearly tell that teaching and learning haven't been done for years in that space. We were told it was abandoned by pupils because their parents couldn't afford to pay 1 cedi a month as tuition fee. I was interested to know who was responsible for teaching the kids in the community. I eventually met with the teacher, Nicholas. Nicholas is a missionary who visited Miegyina and was appalled by the level of illiteracy in the community. He took it upon himself to do something about the situation.
This is the class, it is 2. I have to divide them into 2. Some are the other class and some are the other class, so that because if I want to keep them, the room is too small for them, so I have to separate them. So I taught for 2 years, and then the parents couldn't afford just 1 cedi for a child. They couldn't afford. For about 1.5 years, they couldn't, so I have to just give up.
Having learned that the Director of Education has promised to post a teacher to the community, I took a chance to visit the home that had been prepared for him by members of the community. The abject poverty in the community drove the teacher away without any explanation to elders of the town. This daunting situation about the lack of education amidst other imminent issues such as poor roads, proper healthcare facility, has been the heartache of the chief in the land. The chief expressed worry about the perilous state of the community.
A house stand no more a funny sukuko near Carquine, Lati Abbey, ye be crack. Abaya Basina or Bahaba to Aba or to Abaya, the FFL Mukwanano, only a beam. Until say, ye near Brepa say, is your moi. I'll be boy na you could answer to pom. Saying, for your cool be crumwa, that is swamp by Benumpo Island. I am a school corner. Of free I could be in. Consignment and son of Marcus School.
There are two impens in Miegyina. Out of sheer curiosity, I tried accessing the second alternative. I found to my dismay that locals had to wade 4 miles through water and on ground to reach the next available town, being. Due to this obvious risk, the chief has reached a consensus with parents to only send children above 6 years to school. At the time of our visit, the water had receded. Something else struck me about the town. Some buildings had been pulled down. The youth organizer in the community explained the exodus of people from the town because of the stifling economic conditions. These structures are pulled down by occupants to signify that they are never returning to Miegyina. These people are part of the Ghanaian voters. They vote to elect leaders to lift them out of their abject poverty. But this hope is quickly becoming a dream each passing day.
And it is sad to know that the eyes and ears of the authorities have been closed to the plight and cries of these people in Miegyina community. This is the life beyond the greens. Shocking revelations, disheartening and heartbreaking. Joshua Nana Kwame Ayira, GH1 News.